We all know in life that some combinations go together so well. Gin and tonic, Pippin and Jordan, bangers and mash. But what if I told you that I think I've found the Batman and Robin of the woodworking world? Sound interesting? Let's have a look at these two tools that I've been using in combination for the last 6 months. I'm going to talk you through setting them up, how they complement each other, and just what a difference they've made to my workshop. Now, this is actually two bits of kit paired together from the same company, although not exclusively meant to go together. First up, we have the Enjoywood GD907 router table. I don't know what 907 stands for, but boy, doesn't it sound like a powerful Porsche. I've paired that up with the Enjoywood router fence, and what I've found is put together these two create an absolute dynamic duo that are improving my workstation and becoming real power horses that are powering this workshop forward. During this video, I'm also going to ask you a question. I want to know what your best combination of tools is. Is it your drill driver? Is it your table saw and your dust extractor? Come at me, because I'd love to know what you think rivals this setup. Because for me, I think I've got a superhero setup for the ages. Now, I don't know about you, but one of the things that I look for first in a tool is how well packaged it is. There's nothing worse than ordering a tool, getting it Tuesday or Wednesday, waiting till Saturday or Sunday to be able to get it out of the box, only to find out that it's damaged beyond all recognition. And I can safely tell you that this thing was well packaged. What I also really appreciated was it came with lots of extra pieces. Yes, it's got the lugs and the bolts, but it also came with screws and other little fixings, giving you multiple options on how to fit it. I also really appreciated the fact that it comes with a pre-made template. This stops you prattling around and having to find some NBF or something like that and ended up with a really sloppy fit. Putting this side to side with what I traded up from, which was a DIY router lift, you can tell the quality in this thing straight away. My DIY version was all held together with cable ties and scraps of wood, whereas this is machined, it's precision, and it looks damn fine. I know that doesn't get you anything for accuracy, but there's something about a tool that looks well. Cutting into the workbench always gives me the jitters because this thing's my pride and joy and I want it to look good. I've got to say though, this template was absolutely spot on. Use it as a drawing template, cut out the middle and come back with the router. What I really liked is how well thought out they'd done with this, and they also included a router bit in with it. The whole setup was so tight that I had to use a thwacker. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that that's great. I would much rather something be tight and looking good than I would it be all sloppy and me having to put in some filler, especially into, like I say, what was a brand new workbench at that point. Now, one thing I would recommend to you, and this doesn't come as part of the kit, but I was thinking ahead and thinking about dust extraction. I wanted to have some dust extraction coming from the underneath, so I boxed my router in. Yes, it's a little bit fiddly. Yes, as most things I make, I could have made it easier on myself. But I'll be honest, when we talk about dust extraction later on, this was an absolute game changer for me. So with the lift all in place, it's time to move on to its partner in crime, the fence. Now, I did try for a number of months without a fence, and then I had to give in and get one. And to be honest, this made the router even better. I thought I couldn't get any better. It was obviously a step up from what I had, but this thing has taken me and this router lift to the next level. It's lovely, it's flush, it's well machined just like the router lift is, but I'll stop gushing there and try to show you some of the features in it. As always, it's the little touches, like coming with its own set of Allen keys that clip on so you never lose them. When you need to adjust a fence, everything is right there on hand. Couple of turns and you can extend or subtract the fence any which way you like. What's really good about that is when it comes to actually using it for other functions like a planer or jointer, it means that you can do that quickly and efficiently without having to worry. I also love the extra large dust port on this. And again, like I say, I'm going to get onto dust extraction in its own right in a short while. But this was so easy to all hook up. You've got a dust extractor underneath the router lift and you've got a nice beefy one in the back of the fence. As like with a lot of things at T-Track now, I enjoyed the fact that I can mix and match the accessories that I've got. And this isn't brand exclusive. Moving on then, it's fantastic with its range of reach. The router itself can be brought above the tabletop level, which makes it really handy for changing things and means that you don't need to take the full plate out. My one criticism would be is that it could almost do with a fast and a slow up and down mode, so you could get most of it all the way up and then you could go and dial it in slowly. But that is about the only criticism that I've got from this. So what does it cut like, you ask? Well, I'm glad we're onto that because it cuts like an absolute dream. Now don't get me wrong, a router lift and fence is only ever going to be as good as the blades that you put in it, but the precision that this brings compared to trying to freehand or use a palm router puts this into a different level. I honestly can't tell you how much my cuts have progressed, and also the type of cuts like this one that I'm making right now, where I'm able to put a dado straight through the middle of it. Absolutely game changing when you're looking to expand the joinery that you can use. So for me, safety is key, and I was really worried that a fence would rattle around as I used it. But I love these big chunky handles. I can't believe the amount of purchase and how simple it is to secure this fence down just where you need it. And as for the dust collection I spoke about, it takes a couple of seconds to add a hose onto the back. And as I said whilst I was explaining about making the box for the router, a little bit of piping underneath allows you to get a underneath suction as well. Nice short run, directing the airflow straight upstairs. Now if you can spare a couple more pounds in your budget, I've put an on-off paddle to make sure that I don't have to be reaching underneath while the router's running. Now I know that you smart people are going to have the same questions that I would have at this stage. There's two things you want to know after I've explained all this. Number one, how does it cut? And number two, you've banged on about the advantages of dust extraction. But how much better is it actually compared to having no dust extraction? So let's have a look. Long-term viewers of the channel will know that there's been no expense spared on this sort of experiment. A handful of sawdust should illuminate the point properly. Joking aside though, can you imagine the amount of mess that you would get if this had a spinning blade going at 5,000 revs a minute? It'd make a right mess. So let's have a look at that again with the dust extraction turned on. It's not perfect, but it's a hell of a lot better. One of the main issues though is the throat plate. For this experiment, I just left in the plate that was there, which was quite a small opening. There are others that have got wider openings and are a lot better for dust collection. So let's try that again with no throat plate, and that is much better. Now on for a simple cut to see how it collects dust. First of all, we're going to go with no extraction on. As you can see, this is billowing out the back, it's jumping up and down the sides, and it's starting to make a right mess. This is only a shallow pass, quite simply because I didn't want to have to clean my workshop yet again this week. And a quick look around and you can see just how much dust has got everywhere from the most shallowest of passes that I could imagine making. We'll try again now with the dust collection on. And you can see that dust getting sucked into the back and away it goes. Anything that's dropping out in front of the board is going down the throat plate and into the big chip extractor. This is so much better. Don't get me wrong, this isn't 100%, but you're never going to get 100% in a workshop for an amateur. And there you go, a rather simple and crude experiment. I could have gone full hog, for want of a better term, and got one of those wind turbines again. But I'll be honest, sometimes a picture paints 1,000 words and tells you everything that you need. Not perfect, but a damn sight better than no dust collection. So let's move on then and let's talk about how this thing cuts. Obviously, there's going to be a variation depending on your bit type and quality. But there's one main area that I think this table is much better when it comes to cutting, and that's stability. When you're running through for a round-over, a chamfer, you're tracing anything out for a template, say for a charcuterie board, you have got your router that's staying 100% still. You're doing all the movement yourself with the board. You compare that to a palm router, which is what I traded up from. And don't get me wrong, a palm router was fantastic, but what I do find is you get a lot of rocking and rolling. And what that means is that you end up with slight dips and bumps in the edges of your board. All right, for most projects, I'll agree to that. However, when you're trying to crank stuff out and you're wanting to take your work to that higher level, it's really hard to justify paying a price or trying to get someone to buy into a project when the finish has got some little niggles in it. So this piece of kit has been a massive upgrade for myself. I'm going to leave some links in the description. They are affiliate links to Banggood. The channel earns a little bit, but it costs you no more. You know the usual bump. And failing that, I'd love to just say thank you for watching along. If you've enjoyed your time here, hit that subscribe button, and I hope to see you in a few days on the next build video. Have a good time in your shop.